What's going on, ladies and gents? It's your man, David Gamma, aka FGC Gamma. GG's and welcome to the Good Gaming Show. I have the one and only Alex Myers, aka Sack Daddy, aka Dash Forward Dash Back, Low Forward into Critical Art. Ladies and gents, help me in welcoming Alex Myers.
Thanks for having me, David. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. And how are you? How's it?
I'm good right now. I'm feeling pretty good.
All right. That's pretty good, man. I'm just going to hop right into it, man.
Okay.
Let's start off with the most obvious question. Who is Alex Myers, a.k.a. Sack Daddy?
Who is Sack Daddy?
Yes.
Alex Myers. Well, I am just a scrub from SoCal. I've been playing for about... Competitively, I've been playing since like early 2011.
Yeah.
So around the time Arcade Edition came out, that's when I started playing more seriously. Been just grinding at Wednesday night fights my whole FGC life, I guess. Right. And now I'm here. Yeah. I've been sponsored by Ronin for a year now.
Yeah, that's true. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
And how have those guys been treating you?
They've treated me very well, and I've had a great time with them. My contract's about to end, so we'll see if I renew or not. But
okay,
we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I've been grateful for them to help me level up. I've been glad to travel around America the past year. I even got to go to some other countries. I got to go to Canada, so it's nice to see outside of America, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been grinding here at SoCal, NorCal, a little bit of everywhere, you know. So
right.
Yeah. And now we're here.
Exactly, man. Exactly, and that's exactly why I think I wanted to interview you. You're one of those guys that I've always heard the name, and like you said, you've been grinding it out for quite some time. And I've always seen you in top 8 and other high level tournaments doing your thing. And I'm not gonna say I don't even think you've hit your peak yet. Like you've been in the scene for quite some time, but it seemed like more recently now people are really catching on. They're paying attention to what's been going on. And so can you kind of give us some background? Like what's your history like in the FGC? What was the first tournament you kind of touched on Wednesday night fights? Like talk about that a little bit.
Well, the first tournament I went to, I'm pretty sure. With my best recollection, I went 0-2. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Nothing spectacular going on there. I'm like, what are these people doing? They're sweeping me? Like, what is this? Like, I'm just jumping and shit. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So like, a rough start at first, but luckily, a lot of the arcade people took me in. Took in this lowly scrub, and I just started getting better from there. Yeah. I think my first tournament that I went to was. My friends are trying to get me to go to EVO, but I couldn't make it. And then I think my first real tournament was SCR 2012 I think 2012.
Okay. So
it was a while. I almost made it out of pools. I made it to losers finals where I lost to Ricky Ortiz, who said, and I quote, I was the freest person that she had played the whole tournament. So,
how's that for encouragement, huh?
So that was some good encouragement. I was like, I actually got pissed off. Like even though I was like, even though like I only been playing like a year, I'm like, who is this? Who is this calling me like the freest person? I'm like, oh, okay, it's Ricky Ortiz. And then I learned who Ricky was, and I was like, oh man, okay, maybe I do suck. I need to get better. So that was some good motivation, but. Ever since there, I've been trying to travel to as many things as I can, and luckily with Street Fighter V, I ended up transitioning like a lot of what I learned at the end of 4 when I felt like I was getting really good but couldn't travel, and pretty much transitioning everything I learned from 4 to 5, and found a character where I could place everything that I learned from Sakura to Cammy, because I made Sakura back then, and I felt like Cammy was the best transition for me. Like she played as closely to Sakura as I could get in Street Fighter V, So from there, been able to travel a lot thanks to Ronin, and I just been grinding, man. It's nice to see my efforts being like realized, like people are paying attention to me more now. But I feel like with the results that I did get, like at Canada Cup and DreamHack, like they have to pay closer attention, So I'm glad that people are that I'm becoming a bigger name. You know?
Yeah, and you're definitely earning your stripes. You know, it's not like you're doing any crazy antics or anything like that. You know, it's really just showing in your gameplay. And one thing I really enjoy or appreciate about you is that you know, I think you put this as a pinned tweet on your Twitter that you place top 8. You know, a lot of times the pros, they're so hard on themselves, or even people aspiring to be pro players, that they look down on anything that really isn't like basically winning. You know, they're just like, I didn't win, I suck. And I love that attitude that you're appreciating the journey. You're just like not taking anything for granted. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, where do you get that mindset from of kind of knowing that this is still a work in progress?
Well, I get that mindset from all of my past failures. You know, like I failed here, but I learned. So like I feel like I'm getting a piece to a puzzle each time I'm losing, you know?
Yeah.
When I'm tweeting those things though, to be honest though, there is a lot of salt behind the fifth place tweets, because I made top 8 winners, and like, you know, I beat all these good players, and I'm like man, I can win this tournament. Like that is a true end goal of the journey. Like it's not the end goal, but like that's definitely the next step. Like I want to make top 3 at the Premier. I want to win the Premier.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want the most. But
okay,
a lot of it comes from, like, you have to be humble. I feel like even if I'm getting 5th and I'm not winning like I want to, I have to appreciate the 5th, because there's a lot of times, like, there's a lot of people that don't get 5th. There's a lot of people that don't make top 8. Right. So I have to appreciate that, whether I'm salty or not. I think that just comes from my family teaching me like good values, you know, like just trying to be humble and be appreciative for everything I have. Like I'm very grateful to everything, this whole journey. I feel like I'm very blessed to learn as much as I have in such a short amount of time. I feel very, very grateful for each tournament result, regardless of good or bad, because I feel like I'm learning something each time.
Absolutely. And it certainly shows, man. It certainly shows. And like I said earlier, I don't even think you've even gotten close to your peak yet. You're still on the incline. You're doing your thing, man.
Thank you.
But I still want to ask you, you know, definitely welcome, man. But I want to ask you this. What is or what has been your most memorable FGC moment thus far?
My most memorable FGC moment?
Yes, sir.
I think when I first made top 8 at Canada Cup, that was pretty memorable for me, because it meant a lot to get there, because I had been practicing a lot of like outside game stuff to try and get there, like not just thinking about the game, but a lot of mental things. Like one thing that my girlfriend's uncle Peter taught me was Peter was like a gold medal martial artist, right? He was renowned. He did well at nationals and stuff.
Oh wow, he was a real life street fighter, huh?
He was a real life Bruce Lee dude, and like, and he like he knew about like the journey I was on, because I would tell him sometimes he's like, oh, that's really interesting. He's like, oh, I used to compete and stuff too, and so he thought like he should share some of what he had learned, like about mindset. So that is what made Canada Cup so powerful to me, because I was using a lot of the mindset stuff, like visualizing and more like believing, confidence. He told me a few things. He was like, visualizing beating your opponent, visualizing your strategy, and visualizing like your arena. So like visualizing where you're at. A lot of that helps you not focus on the outside stuff. Like say there's a crowd, like a big crowd, but if you already see the arena in your mind, you don't think about the crowd as much, because you already anticipated the crowd being there. So now when I play and like when I make top 8 at these tournaments, I'm not really thinking about the crowd anymore. I'm more focused on the game, and I think that really helped carry me a lot, because some people, when they make top 8, the pressure starts really getting to them. They look into the crowd, they turn behind them, they look at the crowd, they're like, oh, you know, like all these people are gonna watch me play. And I had that feeling when I first made top 8 at Northwest Majors, but that was before like Canada Cup and stuff. So I had time to work on this mindset, and I think that's why it was so memorable, because that's just stuck with me ever since, and it helps me remember that I can do it again, and that all I need to do is visualize and do everything that Peter taught me, as well as being like diligent with videos. Like I look up a lot of videos and stuff, so I do a lot of prep work so the visualization works. And
right.
Yeah, that's why I feel like Canada Cup was my most memorable moment.
Alrighty, well, thank you for elaborating. And your girlfriend's uncle sounds like he's a cool guy, man.
He taught me some real crazy man. Like I didn't think about that before. So yeah.
Yeah, he sounds like one of those guys that probably knows all about these different laws that exist in the world and mindsets. And
I know
I love guys like that, man.
He's like on some Dr. Strange, dude. Right. He's like the next level. So
right. Third eye type of guy, huh? Yeah. So now with that, man, like what is? Let me ask you this: your character choice, right? How much goes into that? Like I know some people just pick top tier straight up, like they're tired of getting body. They may like a certain archetype or design, and they're like, I'm not winning. I'm going to the other guy. You played, Sakura in Street Fighter 4. Now you're playing Cammy. Like, what's your process like? As far as character selection.
Well, I feel like my process when I originally started playing Street Fighter was to find a character that I felt like I could learn the game with. So I picked Sakura, feeling like she was Street Fighter enough for me to really learn the neutral, learn footsies, learn fundamentals, basically, right? So I like that kind of gameplay ever since Sakura. So I tried to find a character that's like that and is also fun. Yeah. So Sakura was fun and she showed me all that. But I also feel like Cammy was also fun and was played like that too. Of course, I kind of had a feeling she was strong. So I wanted to go with that playstyle. But I felt like that playstyle in general will always be strong no matter the game. Like as long as you have like a very fundamental character that's strong and has good pressure, all the things you need to succeed and to outplay someone, those are the kind of things I look for because I want a character that I can grow with. And like Cammy, I feel like I can still grow with. And like you said, I haven't hit my peak, and I feel like Cammy's just going to help me get to that level and stay there, hopefully. So that's my character selection process. I just want someone that can help me grow and that's fun and teaches you to play solid.
Okay, excellent. And would you consider yourself like a character loyalist? I mean, there's a lot more characters that are supposedly going to be rolled out, some that we have no clue about, some that we do. So where do you stand with that?
That's a tough question, man, because I feel like I have been a character loyalist for a long time. Like Sakura, I just played Sakura. Yeah. But in this game, I tried to come into the mindset with, like, man, Sakura had a lot of bad matchups, and like sometimes I would just lose to a bad matchup, and I didn't appreciate that. Like, even though I felt like I was learning a lot, I didn't like that. No matter how much I learned, there was still like a hole that you can't really like fix unless you have another character, right? So I came into this game being more open to playing another character. Yeah. So originally I played Nash and Cammy. So I was playing Cammy and Nash. At West Coast Warzone, I used Nash to beat Stupendous and Nasser. Yeah. But after that, I kind of retired my Nash. I was like, like I feel like I'm half-assing Cammy. Like I feel like I wasn't reaching my full potential because even though it's early in the game and it's good to have two characters, I felt like it was so early on that I had to maximize Cammy, and I still feel like there's still some room to maximize Cammy. So for the moment, I'm still a character loyalist or whatever, however you want to put that. I'm still very faithful to Cammy, and I feel like I need to max her out fully before I learn another character. Sure, I see some matches where I could learn another character, and I might surprise you one day. Like, say, like a month from now, I'm saying all this, and then bam, I'm playing Birdie. You know, you never know. So, I definitely want to work on a second character, but for now, since my time is limited with how much I can put into Street Fighter, it's mostly just going into maximizing Cammy for now. Got it. Okay, and so today is actually the 10th, and by the time 10th of May, by the time this video gets out, the CFN beta will be already available, and quite possibly maybe a few moments or days after that, I should say, the new beta will be available. Since you seem like you're going to be sticking with Cammy for the most part, what are you looking forward to? Like, what changes, maybe the net code or anything? Like, what are you looking forward to with these new updates? Well, like, I got to say the biggest change I'm hoping for is net code, because I don't have a lot of time to go to Wednesday night fights as much as I want to, so I have to like find people to play online, like good players, West Coast specifically, Yeah. And sometimes the netcode's not as reliable as I'd like, and then I'm lagging with people that are like, like an hour away from me, which sounds crazy. So I'm hoping the netcode gets better, and I'm hoping Cammy's neck throw, the air throw, is better. Is just as good as I'm thinking it might be, because it might be pretty good. I'm just worried about some of the changes, like they're, you know how they're changing each DP, right? So it's like light beats throw, but light has like less invincibility now, right? So that's like a stealth nerf to Cammy. So I'm kind of worried about how that's gonna work, because I already have enough time anti-airing like Necalli when he's going Unga Bunga. Yeah. He's just doing jump fierce on my ass. So it's like I'm extra worried now, like with less invincibility, if I can cut him off, you know. So I'm looking forward to just really looking at all the changes, I guess, but most importantly, netcode.
Yeah, and speaking of netcode, man, I sat with Wolfkrone shortly after that win he had against Shane at ELEAGUE, and Wolfkrone was like, all he does is play CFN. In fact, he was encouraging others to do it. And I don't know what factors play into that. Maybe his location, or maybe he's always been the online Warriors. But
he's always been always been online Warrior.
Yeah.
Two. Plays Laura. So like you just hit people with your shit and you're good. So it's like,
right.
And it's the same. It's just, I don't know, man. And he plays on Wi-Fi, I heard. So it's like, you're a monster playing on Wi-Fi. Like, so I don't know, man. I don't
knew where that was.
I don't know how. It definitely depends on your character how you play online. But I do agree with him in the sense that that playing online is good in the sense that you're learning matchups, and that you're learning matchups you don't learn in locals. And some people like Wolfkrone or some other people don't really have a great offline scene, so they have to play online.
Yeah,
that's a big deal for a lot of people, you know. And like I'm trying to incorporate online more, so I definitely agree. Online is important, and that's why I think the netcode needs to be better, because like I would say 90%, maybe 90 to 95% of Capcom's player base is online.
Yeah,
you're not gonna find a big percentage that's playing offline. It's a very niche thing, and a lot of people just play offline when they're going to a tournament, because it's a big deal. They got to make time. They got to schedule time off. You got to drive. You got to fly. Go play offline. But for some people that aren't used to offline, that's why I want more offline scenes. I want people to build something. I know you can at least find a group of like maybe 10 to 20 people in your area. Like there has to be people that want to get good and play offline Street Fighter, because there's tournaments all over the states now. I feel like there's just popping up left and right. You have to nurture your scene. You have to help them get used to playing offline, because it's a different beast, dude. When you're playing next to someone, in general, like when you're at like a random place playing next to someone, there's nerves you're going to experience that you never have experienced playing online. Right. And that's a big deal. That's what that's what helped me a lot when I went to Super Arcade, because I didn't know how to play against people without constantly thinking about it. Like I'm like, oh, this person's like reacting a certain way, it's freaking me out, and then like people are just like, they're like intense over here, it's like it's a lot to process. You have to learn to just shut all that off. You have to like forget that they're even there, and that's why I feel like it's so important to play offline. We need more TOs. We need more people that are willing to nurture a scene, like a Vaya, like a Watson, like a Mamo Dao, like any. We just need someone to step up and help the offline scene, because it's so important, dude. I think it's so to hit the next level. You have to be used to those kind of nerves.
It is, and I certainly agree. And it's kind of weird though, because again, talking back about Wolfkrone, he does so well offline as well. And
it's amazing.
I don't know if it's because of his character or just his style.
I think he is a good player. Wolfkrone is a good player, but he needs to be more humble, in my opinion.
Okay.
And not talk so much trash. Like saying. Right. Saying Xian is out gimmicking you with a Buki, and you're playing Laura Dog, like come on, man, like it doesn't make sense to me. And like those are the kind of things he caused like a lot of outrage, and Xian is one of my homies, so that kind of tweaked me a little bit, I definitely got triggered, but I can respect his play. I can respect his lore. He's got clean lore, good stuff, but please work on the personality. Please don't discredit others. Like don't discredit others, or you will be discredited. That's kind of how I see it.
And for purposes of remaining neutral, Wolfkrone, in case you're watching this, just want to let it be known, man. Everyone has a right to their opinion. And in fact, the reason why I brought him up, I don't want him to think I'm bashing him at all, is because I wanted to kind of segue into the next question I was going to ask you. In regards to the FGC, man, a lot of different things are going on, kind of, around that realm of trash talking, teabagging, and that kind of thing. And so that's mainly also why I brought a Wolfkrone. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think does it add anything to the scene, or do you think it kind of just takes away?
I think every once in a while it's cool, like it's nice, but that's getting played out. Like people, like I honestly see it as like I saw Dude, that was Dude's thing. Like Dude he's taunted. Yeah, that was just his thing since Street Fighter 4. And like I feel like people see Dude as like, people are reacting to Dude's teabagging a certain way, and they kind of want that. Like I see Punk trying to emulate it.
Okay.
I see Punk trying to emulate it. I see a bunch of people just teabagging for no real reason.
Right.
Like you're just
for the attention, basically.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you're playing like Punk. I like Punk a lot. Don't get me wrong. So Punk is a cool dude, my homie. Yeah. But he teabagged my teacher Xiao Hai, and for no reason. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And then and now I'm out for blood, dude. Like I beat his senpai. I beat Bonchan. He beat my Xiao Hai. So now I got to teabag him, dude. I have to. Like if I get that stun, you better believe the downs are gonna go off like crazy.
See, you know what? I guess speaking merely as a spectator, I kind of love that because it does what you just described. You know what I mean? As long as it doesn't go overboard, it seems like what it does, it creates this kind of tension, feuds, and those little nuances that keeps players like really on edge. So it's not like you're just playing to win anymore. Yeah, like you said, you're out for blood, and that's what I had to ask you, man. So it's entertaining to us. It might really get you guys a little bit triggered, uneasy, etc. Tension may build, but I love it though. I'm just gonna be honest, man. I'm like,
I can see why the spectators would love it, but coming from a competitor standpoint, it's just like, why? Yeah. Do is very so. Let me just tell you something. So there's a difference between Du's teabags and Punk's teabags. At least when Du was like hitting his peak up to a Captain Cup, there was like a reason. Right. Du is teabagging to scare his opponent. So I like Dude's like one of my best friends. We talked about this before. He would purposely teabag, say like I think like the first game or round. Yeah. At top 8 Capcom Cup, he stunned MOV. He teabagged the hell out of him, dude. There's no bad blood there. Right. He's just trying to put him on tilt, and I feel like that game with him. Yeah. It's very mental, and like. There's a very smart, so that is a time when I would probably teabag just to tilt someone, But the difference between Punk's teabags is where he's fully dominated his opponent. Like it's over. Like you're at the very end.
Overkill when he does.
Yeah, it's overkill, dude. It's like there's no point for you to teabag someone when you've already dominated them. Right. It's just overkill. But like, doing his teabags like that, and he was doing it consistently to mind people within the first game or two, right? Yeah. There's a clear purpose there, even if the opponent didn't see it. I can respect and understand Dude's teabags because it's all mental and trying to give them something else to think about. Like, I can't get stunned. This guy's gonna teabag me again. Yeah. That's a clear difference in my opinion. Like, if I'm gonna teabag someone, I'm going to teabag them to just scare them, to send a message.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, it definitely makes sense the way that you broke it down. And so, speaking of Dude, I caught up with him at final round briefly, and I was just kind of talking to him. I really didn't get a chance to interview him, but I did ask him about his Capcom Cup run and the experience. And of course, that's like life-changing money. I know. Get that much at once. But he actually mentioned something that I thought was interesting. He was like, if he wins Evo, despite winning Capcom Cup and winning a whole bunch of other stuff, if he wins Evo, he would probably pass out. He wouldn't even know what to do with himself. So I want to ask you, man, like, how are your thoughts when it comes to like Evo, Capcom Cup? Is there one that stands out more than the other, or is Evo still like the Super Bowl of the fighting games?
Hey, here's my opinion. I think Du is right. I think the Evo is the Super Bowl, even though Capcom Cup is like almost Super Bowl. Yeah. I think because Evo has been around for so long, and a lot of us grew up on Evo. A lot of us got inspired by Evo. Like, it was a big reason why I wanted to get in the FGC because I saw Daigo body Ricky at the Grand Finals Evo 2010, right?
Yeah.
So ever since then, Evo has been a big deal in my mind, and I've always wanted to make top 8, do extremely well. It's just, it's an honor, honestly, to do well at Evo, just because it means it's been around for so long, and it means so much to everyone in FGC. Capcom Cup is more new, and it's something we all want. But Evo's just one tournament. It's like you're fighting for your life, basically, and you're not like accruing points like you would to qualify for Capcom Cup, which is also an honor. But Evo just feels like such a visceral tournament, and you have to really earn your top 8. You have to earn that win. It's just a battle royale, dude. It's just like people dying left and right. It's very intense, and I would definitely pass out if I won. You'd have to get a stretcher, dude. Get a stretcher, roll my ass out. Yeah.
You'll be in bliss, and that makes a lot of sense, man. It's the biggest open man tournament, and to win that, oh my gosh, the elation, you would just be beyond any kind of description as far as how you feel.
Dude. Yeah. Even top 8, man, would be an honor. I'd feel like passing out. Like, say you qualify on Saturday for top 8, I probably would pass out too. Like, both, it's just such an honor. Man.
Yeah, definitely. It's like even seeing Eli Joe, when he placed, just seeing him walk around that stage, man. Like, you can almost kind of live vicariously through him and say, man, that must feel awesome.
I was. You could feel like you could feel how happy Joe was. You could feel. You felt like you were him, like you were living a story. Like, it felt like if he can do it, I can do it. That kind of thing. Like, it's a very, very American kind of hero kind of story. I think. Yeah, it was awesome to see him shine like that.
It was, man. And speaking of, if he can do it, you can do it. Let me ask you this, man. Is there any person out there, like, do you have any demons? Is there anyone out there that you just feel like, you know what, if this guy's not in my bracket, if he gets eliminated and I don't have to face him, I'm probably going to be smooth selling? Do you have any of those guys out there?
I try not to think like that. Like, I want to play everyone, basically. Like, I try not to think that way. But if there was a demon, if you're looking at tournament results, it would be my demon would be Knuckle Dude, because every time I've gotten close to winning a tournament, in top 8, Dude has been there to shut that down. Like, so absolute battle. I almost beat him, and then he ran it back 3 straight with Mika and knocked me out in 4th. Canada Cup and me top 8 winners. Dude was there to shut it down. It's just like, man,
you gotta get sick, dude. Come on, man. Yeah.
Dude, it's just something about that Mika, man. Like, he's just maybe it's not so bad now, but like, man, that season 1 Mika, man, that was my demon. Like, it's just a nightmare. I hated playing season 1 Mika. So even still, his Mika gives me some problems, but I think more his Guile is. When we play now, Guile is more of the problem for me. So
so just do, even as a player all around, he's well skilled in the selections that he uses, huh? All right, but
very smart player.
Mindset though, like, you're not necessarily afraid of anyone, but just looking at the results, there are certain people that may wind up being stoppers for you. And so, what goes into practicing for those tournaments? Do you kind of say, hey, I'm going to level up and master like my character, but because I know Dude or whoever did this to me, I'm going to focus on them a little more? Like, how do you kind of prep for tournaments?
So mostly I just try and look at who's in front of me, because like, I know if I don't make it out of pools, it doesn't matter. Right. So like, I mostly just try and focus on who is ever in my pool, and then kind of see how they want to play. I've gone through a sort of like a pattern where I'm trying to like figure out what they do, and I've gone through a lot of different patterns, like, oh, they do this in neutral, oh, they do this, and I've realized like looking at what they do in neutral isn't necessarily a good idea, because any other day someone could feel a certain way, and maybe they're playing neutral differently. So I try not to focus on their neutral, because neutral kind of just comes as you're playing. Like, you fill out their neutral as you're playing them. So I mostly focus on my opponent's offense, defense, and like, kind of how they respond to like pressure, you know. So those 3 things are mostly what I try and focus on. when I'm studying for an opponent. Of course, like I try and play as much as I can against people that play the same character online.
Yeah.
Or I go to Wednesday night fights and I play whoever is really good in general. Like I like to go to WNF before majors, but lately that's become like a kind of taboo thing for me because when you go to WNF, especially me, most of the time I make it to grand finals and like But what I'm trying to get, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying like I leave at 3 or 4 in the morning. So like because I'm there till the end, you know.
Bodies, man, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, is it worth it? So like lately I've been regressing from that and trying to just focus on my sleep schedule. So like because sometimes you have pulls at like 10 or like 8, you have to be up early, you know. So I try and like make sure I'm waking up pretty early and I'm used to that, because if I'm used to a WNF sleep schedule, I never have done that well in tournament sleeping like that, or like, you know, dealing with that kind of sleep schedule. So most importantly, before a tournament, sleep schedule, studying my opponent, playing online. Those are usually the 3 things I try and do. Yeah.
Okay, man. So it's a lot going on with you, it sounds like, man. Your work-life balance, you know, with the game, a lot of time management goes into what you have to do.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, you mentioned WNF a few times, and, you know, I did interview Alex Valle, who was actually the first guest I had on the show. And one of the things he said is a piece of advice to, like the younger generation, was to plan ahead. You know, look maybe 5-10 years down the road. What are you going to be doing? Are you still trying to win tournaments? Or are you going to be working behind the scenes, etc.? Like, that was the big piece of advice that he had to say. So with that said, kind of, you know, want to put you on the spot, man. Like, what are some of your aspirations? Like, do you think that far ahead within the FGC? Or are you still just kind of riding the wave and having fun? Like, what, you know, like, what are your thoughts when it comes to Alex Myers 10, 15 years from now?
Well, 10 years from now I'll be 34, so probably will be behind the scenes in some way, because I wouldn't say necessarily like running tournaments or something, but I would say like maybe working for like PlayStation, or working for like a Red Bull or Capcom, something, you know. Like I would like to still be in the video game industry, but not like probably not competing at that time, you know. I'll probably try and mentor people before then, so they can like kind of carry my torch for me, you know. But I feel like it's like a virus I have, or like a drug. Like I have to. There's something in me, like the competitive spirit, where I need to win a big tournament. Like I need to really establish like my name. Like I need to print it in the FGC, because like I felt like I've done some things now, but I have so much more aspirations I want to accomplish before I get out, you know. Like, I see. My end goal is like the reason why I got into the FGC was like basically to meet people. Like I wanted to meet connections and like work my way into the video game industry some way. So so that's my end goal. But as for now, like I'm kind of riding the wave and just kind of I want to take this as far as I can before I leave it behind, you know.
Got it, man. And it sounds like maybe you got to wear that crown at least once, you know.
You got to wear it, man. You got to wear it one time.
To keep going until you do. Now, let's say if it happens a lot sooner than you think. Who knows? You know, anyone could, like win Evo, as we were talking about. Why not you? What will happen to Mr. Myers if he wins this year's Evo? Are you gonna like do early retirement? Like, where are you gonna go from there?
I'll probably commit 1 full year to esports at that point, or at least maybe 2. We'll see. Like I'll see how far I can take it, see if it's profitable for me, if I can, you know, live off of it. And if not, you know, I'll just do what I said. Like maybe early retirement. Who knows? But probably if I win early, like I want to be like I'll probably be around for a while. Like I want to be consistent. Like one of my 2 of the people that I really looked up to when I was trying to get better were Valle and Choi, because John Choi, where they were so consistent in their day and they just won like everything, you know. I want to be one of those American like FGC legends. Like I want to leave my mark like they did, you know. So if I do well early, I'm probably gonna try and carry it as far as I can, you know. That's great, man. And it looks like you're doing your thing, man. You might be on your way to becoming one of those guys that we're going to be talking about years from now. I hope so.
Yeah, and speaking of years, man, let's talk about Street Fighter in general. 30 years. 30
years. This year, huh? 30
yes,
years.
Sir. That's a lot. I don't know exactly the year you started or, first played any Street Fighter, but I still want to ask you, like, what does Street Fighter, in general, what does it mean for Alex Myers?
Well, Street Fighter means a lot to me, especially at this point, because I've made a lot of good friends through Street Fighter. I have my girlfriend, who I love very much, through Street Fighter. And
wow, okay.
So it definitely means a lot, and I've grown up on Street Fighter basically my whole life. Like since I was like 7, like I had I had it on a console, and I've been playing. In middle school, I played CVS2 a lot. It was weird. Like, it's always been, when I thought about it, it's always been there. Like when I really thought about it, I was like
Forrest Gump, right? It's been in the background of everything, right?
Just the background, yeah. Like
you and Ken just hiding somewhere.
Yeah, like I'm just in school. You look at a picture of me studying, there's Street Fighter in the background. Like, it's just right. It's just
a whole
random.
Family video. You see a fireball floating. You're like, oh,
is that a fireball? It's crazy, dude. Like it definitely means a lot. It's been there. My parents are very supportive of it. So this is great because it's just like I used to play baseball a lot when I was younger, and I did well-ish in high school, but I didn't make grades one year, and I just became a bad student at one point. So that kind of killed my competitive drive, and this is like rekindling the fire, and I want to see how far I can take what I had and what I have now, and bring that fire and just keep building it. Just keep stoking the flame. So I want to take the love I have for Street Fighter, just really keep going. I'm pretty sure Street Fighter will be a part of my life forever, dude. In some way, and in some shape or form, there will be a Street Fighter game in my house. My kid will probably learn Street Fighter, so it's like. Right.
You turn into a real life Ken and start passing down.
Oh yeah, dude, that is another goal I would like to accomplish. I would like my kids to just be like some 8-year-old prodigy just kicking the out of people. It'd be awesome.
Right. You're like, stop mashing, son. Come on.
Come on. You know better. I taught you.
That's amazing, man. Street Fighter means a lot to a lot of us. In fact, I say every one of us in the FGC, even those that don't play Street Fighter. It's crazy when I talk to people at tournaments. That's still, in many cases, the first game they ever play. They could be a Smash Pro or whatever they are. They're like, I remember doing the fireball motion. So
it's been a big. I think it's just the core of the FGC in general. Really, it's brought in so many people into the FGC, whether they wanted to be in the FGC or not. We're here. We got here somewhere. We have Street Fighter to thank for that. Or blame.
That's right, man. It's certainly been a great icebreaker, and like you touched on. And so now, let's talk about maybe some non-Street Fighter stuff for a little bit. We have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. We have Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Injustice 2. Let's see, what else can I think of off the head? Oh, even KOF, Tekken 7. There's a lot of good fighters coming out this year, or that maybe are already out. So, what does that do for you? Are you just super Street Fighter, nothing else? Do you play fighting games in general? How what are your thoughts on some of these games that are coming down?
A lot of the games are interesting, honestly. The ones that are the most interesting to me are KOF and Tekken. I want to play. Well, Marvel Infinite, of course. I think it might be KOF, Marvel, and then I think Tekken. Okay. I want to play those games, but at the same time, with traveling a lot and with school, it's just so hard to commit to any other game. As much as I want to, it's do I have the time? Yeah. And I have friends that Romance is a good friend of mine. He's a top KOF player. And he is really good at Street Fighter as well. He's gotten top 8 at a few tournaments, and he tells me whenever I tell him dude, I want to play KOF. I just love KOF. I grew up on CVS2. There's that want to play something kind of CVS2, And he tells me no, you have to focus on this. This is more important. So I'm trying to just take his advice and focus on just Street Fighter. But man,
I see.
Some of these games are real tempting. Tekken 7's KOF is gonna be on Steam, so that's even more reason to try it. I wanna really want to try it, but I'm trying to just focus on Street Fighter right now.
Got it. And so it sounds like if you do wind up playing these games, it's probably just going to be more casually. Is that correct? You're not going to be going all out trying to master everything. You're just doing it just, to have fun, I guess, right?
Yeah, to have fun, but like, dude, knowing me, it's like I can't help but like get really into something once I get into it. So it's like,
yeah.
That's another reason why I don't trust myself playing KOF casually, because I'll get the bug like I go with Street Fighter, and then I'll be competing in two
body, right?
No, I'll be like, man, I can beat this guy. Like it's no good, dude. Like I just need to focus on Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, man. Okay, so now the next question I have for you is your favorite fighting game of all time. So we talked about Street Fighter. We kind of deviated into other games. I don't know if it's an obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, man. What is Alex Meyer's favorite fighting game of all time?
My favorite fighting game of all time. There's a soft spot for Street Fighter 4 because, I really like all the combos and I like the neutral in the game. But the CVS 2 I liked a lot, but at the same time, like I didn't play CVS 2 at a high level. Like I just played as a kid. Yeah. So probably my favorite fighting game of all time would be Street Fighter 4 right now. But CVS 2 is like a close second. Yeah. Followed by Street Fighter 5. So like Street Fighter 4 just has a special place in my heart.
Yeah. I'm not mad at you, man. I mean, it's done so much for the FGC.
That's how we're here.
I'm an 80s baby myself, and I can remember a time when there was just like a period of inactivity. Really nothing was going on. It was this weird space where only like the super duper dedicated guys were still going to tournaments. And then Street Fighter 4 hit the scene. It was like an explosion of life just came right back. So it's really, in many regards, the reason why all of the things we have now are even in existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without Street Fighter 4, dude, I think, I really think fighting games would still be dead. So we owe a lot to Street Fighter 4, even though we try and forget it sometimes. You gotta. It's a thing like respecting your elders. Like you have to right. You have to give homage to the thing why we're still here doing why there's more sponsors popping up, why there's ELEAGUE, why there's Evo on ESPN, all that stuff.
Absolutely, man. So just a couple more questions before we wrap up. Okay. Glad you said ELEAGUE too, man, because that's where I was going. Okay. Oh man, when it comes to these invitationals, right? What are your thoughts on them first and foremost? Are you excited for them? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you kind of feel like too commercial? Like, what are your thoughts overall? And you can even be specific to ELEAGUE.
So if I was like a core old school FGC guy, I would probably say it is probably poisoning the FGC in a way, but from my standpoint and more from like an esports standpoint, it's very, very important for our growth as a scene. I feel like ELEAGUE is very important to get the game out there and to get all of the players' names out there. I saw John D tweet something where the bigger we have to nurture our players, because the bigger the players, the bigger the game. So you get people interested in the players, they're more involved in the game. So I think things like ELEAGUE help people care about people they didn't care about before. It kind of shows a different side of their personality. Yeah, I never knew guy who walks a puppy or a dog. You know what I mean? I didn't know that either. I just figured that out right now.
He's a gentle killer. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know Dago had a puppy, so I just figured that. I just figured that out. So I think, I think it's really important. ELEAGUE is super important to our growth. Just anything like an ELEAGUE, invitationals, things that get our name out there, get people really liking the players. Yeah. Like John D said, we just need more growth. We need to really help the players, help get their name out there. And ELEAGUE's a perfect example. Yeah. Just invitationals are nice because they recognize your efforts. They recognize the work you've been putting in, and you don't have to really go through a gauntlet through tournaments. Exactly. Anything can happen 2 out of 3, honestly. Yeah. So it's nice. It's nice to have kind of more of a controlled environment, like an invitational, where your efforts have been realized and you're appreciated and you're being given a shot. Hopefully I can be on ELEAGUE next time. Let's see if that works out, because it seems like John D liked my dream hack run. So yeah. So hopefully he hooks me up. So it'd be nice.
So you'd be definitely open to that sort of invitational. Absolutely, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It would be nice for more invitationals like that to come up. Yeah. I think it's very important to our growth.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And I've been covering ELEAGUE on a weekly basis. I'm going to be there in a couple days, and
that's awesome.
I try to talk to the people that are not necessarily FGC people, but they're the ones that green light a lot of stuff. And so conversations like this, I think, is even important for them to see that, we got top players and pro players that are excited, and they would love to keep seeing this thing happen. Because again, this is the first time they've ever done Street Fighter.
Yeah.
They've been doing CS:GO. And I'm out here in Atlanta. They had the Fox Theater full of players, and I mean it's big time in the other games, League of Legends, etc. But for us in the FGC, sometimes we're a little apprehensive. We're not always embracing of the bigger lights and sounds in arenas. And I'm glad your response was favorable to it, because I completely agree. I think we need it, man.
I think we need it, and I think I think we need it, and I think players need to work on their on-screen personality more. I'm not trying to bash anyone, but I'm just saying in general, if you get invited, you need to be able to answer questions very coherently. You have to be able to show who you are, show that you're just really, you need to portray yourself in the light you want to be seen in. And some people don't think about that and just go into it. Maybe they're too brash or too real, but you have to be very smart about these kind of things, I think.
Man, you absolutely get it, Mr. Mize. You get it, because I know a lot of people were like, what, guilty? Who else was Gutex? He caught a lot of flack. They were like, why in the world? But you kind of hit it right on the nail, man. This is television. They're doing this weekly. So, like you said, a lot of these people watching have no clue what Street Fighter is about.
I know.
And of course, they intentionally invited a nice mix of different personalities and people, so they can kind of sell not just the game, but the variety that we do have within the community.
It is a big variety, and I think the selection overall. Some people might have been upset about it, but I think it's actually it's pretty smart to show off the diversity of the FGC. Everyone had a different aspect or something to bring to the table,
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome, man. And then the next thing I want to touch on really briefly is the online tournaments, Red Bull Proving Grounds. I think was just the other day. You have the Capcom Pro Tour even online, allowing I don't know if it's just one person that gets a chance to maybe go to the actual tour if they win. What are your thoughts about that, online tournaments? Is that something you're interested in, or you kind of just focus strictly on offline?
So last year I didn't like it because it wasn't region locked. Okay. So now, for one, Red Bull I like doing those offline. So I just go to mine, and I'm ranked first right now. So
wow.
So I'm pretty
man. Congrats on that.
I got fourth. I got fourth at the last one, but it was because people were telling me I can't qualify because I have over 100 CPT points. So I kind of went into it half-assed, and I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. But I ended up getting fourth, being half-assed. So whatever.
Just a day apart, Yeah.
And I got fourth, and now I'm first overall because Chris T didn't go. But I like the offline stuff for that. I don't know if Red Bull is region locked. I think they just let everyone play. Right. But
the recent one I seen was regional. I did go online, and they had brackets based on northeast, southeast, southwest. Yeah, but then I think ultimately you may have to fight, at the grand finals regardless of where you live. Yeah,
that is at least better than playing some person from New Jersey. I'm in SoCal, and they're just lagging everywhere.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm very happy that they're region locking these tournaments, because especially for CPT, I feel it's very important.
Yeah.
It's not fair to put all these points on the line and people are just lagging left and right, and you're not really getting to see a player's true potential. You're seeing them getting hit by random lag gimmicks, or they're getting hit by a one-sided rollback. Just random stuff. With the region lock, it helps limit those kind of things, and it helps it look more like the game, how it's played offline.
Got it. So that's your only real issue, I guess. It's just the connection. As long as it's strong and consistent, you're down.
I'm down. So I like the region lock stuff. I'll definitely be playing in the CPT online this Saturday. Yeah, Saturday I'll be on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds cool, man. So, literally just two more questions I have for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's talk about that CJ truth. I couldn't let you go without talking on that, man.
Poor CJ. Every time
I said, good grief, what is this guy doing? I don't know where that came from, man. In fact, that's what I want to ask you. did you kind of plan for moments like that? Was it just totally freestyle, spontaneous? Like, how did that happen? Because, I mean, it's something that we don't see too often. A dash forward, a dash back, low forward into critical art. That was an amazing tactic. What was going on through your head? Can you take us through it?
So, what went through my mind was like a few things. I always keep in mind who I'm playing. So, like, I try and like study them a little bit and like kind of feel them out. For CJ, I had been paying attention to him like most of the day. As I got closer to playing him, I was really trying to think about what his playstyle was, what I was looking at when I watched him play. Like, I noticed he's a very reactionary player because he's so young and he has such good, strong reactions, right? Right. So I was like, I'm stuck in this corner. I think I woke up with like jab or something, right? Because I scared him with a DP or something, or he knew like that I would probably DP here, so I did the Kazunoko. I woke up with a jab instead of a DP, and I just walked back, and he wasn't fishing, right? So like he didn't take any of my buttons when I woke up, right? I saw him walk back a little bit. He just sat there. He just crouch blocked, right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk back a little bit. I'm gonna walk up here and just think about it. I thought about it for like probably under a second. Like I looked at him. I was like, all right, you're still crouch blocking, right, bro? So you're just gonna wait for me to jump, right? So I was like, all right. So I'm gonna sit right here. I took a step back. I dashed at him because I knew he would react and try and throw me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna play. I was purposely planning to play with his reactions right there. So I dashed up, dashed back, baited his throw just like I envisioned. Boom! Took that round.
Wow, man! Again, shout out to your girlfriend's. What was that? Girlfriend's uncle?
Yeah.
Because you just what you broke down just kind of resonated with me. What you said earlier. You
the visualization.
You planned it. You went out, executed it. Bingo. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's something a lot of players need to get better at. Is like really paying attention to their opponent before you play them, because like especially 2 out of 3, you have to understand kind of already how they play, because if you're trying to get the download in a short 2 out of 3, it's harder to have like a solid plan or like to work around in those critical moments where I could have lost the round. Like say I lost that round, I could have lost the next round, and then there goes the game. You know, so like those little critical moments where I had like a thought about how CJ wanted to play helped me get those rounds. You know, so
and you did your thing, man. That's good advice, and that was certainly a moment that stuck out in that whole tournament. So
I'm glad you liked it, because I didn't think too much of it when I did it, but I was like, man, that's kind of sick. Like after
you almost blew up the stream, man. Like it was one of those moments, like whoa. So I'm always living for those moments. The hype was real after that.
That's sick, man. I'm glad. I want to make the FGC as hype as possible, so I aim to please,
And so this takes us to our final question, man. What's next for Alex Myers? What's going on with you, man? Talk to us, like anything and everything that you got planned. We like to know.
What's next for Alex Myers? So next, I want to go to Combo Breaker. Okay. So that'll be like the next big tournament you see me at. I'll be at the CPT online thing this Saturday. Yeah. I just want to keep traveling as much as possible. Hopefully, like, I'm hoping that I can just travel as much as possible this year. So I'm willing to do whatever I can to make that possible. I'm trying to make more time for it. I'm trying to balance everything better, and I feel like I'm getting better at balancing school and Street Fighter. So hopefully I can just keep that going until I'm done with school. Yeah. And I'm just hoping to do it all, man. I want to make Capcom Cup. Hopefully you'll see me at Capcom Cup. I'm in a good spot to make it in right now. So So I'm just hoping I can carry whatever momentum I have from DreamHack and just keep chugging,
Excellent. So they can next catch you on at Combo Breaker for sure.
Combo Breaker.
Absolutely. And do you stream? Do you do anything else like that we can catch you every maybe once a week or so on Twitch? I used to stream more consistently, but since like school started up, I haven't been able to. But I do have a stream. It's twitch.tv/AlexMyersSF4. Okay. I used to stream all the time. I'm planning to make more time for it as like school's dying down. So definitely check me out there. Check me out at Alex Myers FGC on Twitter, and I'm hoping for good things to come along. Excellent. Well, that's about it, man. And I just want to thank you so much for this long interview that we had.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. And it's your boy David Gamma, FGC Gamma, GG's, Good Gaming. GG's. And let's thank our guest Alex Myers.
Thanks for having me, man. GG's.